members of council, on behalf of the steering committee, thank you for allowing us to make this presentation this evening. As Mayor Gallagher indicated, over the summer, we were asked, along with the planning board, to form a joint steering committee to make a recommendation regarding the closure of Division Street to the planning board and then subsequently to council. And we appeared before the planning board last Wednesday and are here this evening to discuss our recommendation. The steering committee includes, from the planning board, Deidre Rosinski, Lisa Yates, and Borough Planner Michael Cole. DSA representatives include Tom Genova, Rick St. Pierre, Randy Pitts, Council President Jane Kabuta, and myself. In preparing for tonight's presentation, I went back and took a look at the notes from when the DSA last appeared before the Planning Board and Council in July of 2012. And when I spoke then, I asked on behalf of the DSA for time for the borough and the DSA to explore a full calendar of programming, the addition of amenities, time to develop a public art program, and time to allow business recruitment to take hold. I noted that it would take 3 key elements to make the pedestrianization work: programming, planning in the form of zoning and amenities, and maintenance. In support of the recommendation to close Division Street as a pilot program, I provided quotes from Division Street businesses, including the owner of Origin, who wrote, "There is no one solution that can make everyone happy. We always stand by the town's decision. Our opinion is not based on what benefits our business. It is based on what Division Street can achieve if it is closed. It is safe, clean, and easier to maintain. It is always ready for any event. It is a street where people want to be, not just another street. It will bring more businessmen to invest on Division Street, and more investment equals better businesses, which equals more traffic to Somerville." One Division Street tenant enthusiastically requested that we put a huge Christmas tree decorated in the middle of the street. But there is no one solution to make everyone happy, and there were those that wanted the street open. It was suggested that the street should remain open for at least weekdays, so cars from the outside of town are able to observe improvement. We were reminded that this is a street, and we were admonished to put it back the way that it was. I will note here that that particular respondent is now a believer in Division Street and stays open late on event nights and has requested that we just keep the music going. Tonight I'm going to provide the follow-up to that request last year and present a snapshot of what has been happening on Division Street. And I'd like to start the evening by reviewing the results of the survey that was recently completed by the steering committee. The survey concluded with just over 600 respondents. Of those, approximately 52% identified themselves as a Somerville resident. Of the business owners that responded, almost half have noticed an increase in foot traffic, and we will touch back on that a little bit later in the presentation. Almost everyone responding has walked down Division Street, and of those, almost 50% have walked down within the last week. Almost 90% have a positive or very positive impression of Division Street, and 90% feel that it has improved over the last year. 61% visit Division Street more now than before the improvements. Of those that have children, 75% are comfortable or very comfortable in bringing their children to Division Street. And almost 90% feel that Division Street adds a unique atmosphere to Somerville. We still do need to do more, though. The business mix, amenities, and event mix were all identified as areas that need more improvement. A full 52% said that they would visit more if there were more amenities like seating, tables, and shade. In terms of programming, Somerville certainly likes food. 70% want a food festival, with a beer and wine garden running at a close behind at 63%. And I will take a brief moment to note here that we do have an Oktoberfest planned for Division Street, covering both of those categories at the end of the month, so you should look for updates in your inbox and through Facebook. We can see that most respondents want evening and weekend events, which is really no surprise given everyone's work schedule. And again, we can see that amenities are really called out for. Seating, tables, and umbrellas were identified as the 3 biggest requests, with flowers and trees running a close behind. The physical appearance of the public space is clearly very important. But you can see that the overwhelming majority think that having a permanent public space is very important to them. And that's really a very fitting place to transition into the next portion of the presentation when we look at what Division Street means to Somerville. Located in the heart of our downtown, Division Street provides the connection between our train station and Main Street. But it's really more than just a street. It fulfills a much larger purpose in Somerville, and that of a third place. And a third place, also known as a third space, is a term that's used in community building to refer to the social surroundings that separate our other two typical environments, that of work and home. Third places then are anchors in community life, and they facilitate and foster broader, more creative interaction. In his influential book, The Great Good Place, Ray Oldenburg argues that a third place is essential in establishing feelings of a sense of place and belonging in a community. He notes the following as hallmarks of a true third space. It should be free or inexpensive. Food and drink, while not essential, are very important. It should be highly accessible within walking distance of many. It should involve regulars, people who habitually congregate there. It should be welcoming and comfortable, and both new friends and old should be found there. We're going to present to you 3 examples of third spaces. They're all vastly different in their appearance, but they maintain these common threads that I just talked about. The porch at 30th Street Station in Philadelphia is almost 2 years old and once provided 34 parking spaces. It now provides 250 places to sit, trees, flowers, and a variety of activities, including concerts, farmers markets, pop-up beer gardens, and provides a welcoming space to daily commuters and visitors. The Times Square Pedestrian Mall, which began in 2009, will be completed in 2014. The project was originally opposed by local businesses who thought that closing the street to cars would hurt business. But business has boomed, and the number of pedestrians in Times Square has actually increased. And on February 11, 2010, Mayor Bloomberg announced that the pedestrian plaza would become permanent. Pioneer Courthouse Square, which is the oldest of these 3 examples, is located in the heart of downtown Portland, and it is an urban park affectionately known as the city's living room. Since its grand opening in 1984, its ongoing mission is to activate and enrich the environment of the City of Portland's premier public park and gathering space for the benefit of Portland citizens and visitors. In recent years, through a public-private management model, the park has been recognized as one of the most successful public spaces in the United States. So, how does Division Street fit into this concept? This is our original canvas, and incidentally, the front porch in Philadelphia is almost the identical size of Division Street here in Somerville. This block was historically fraught with vacancies and acted primarily as a cut-through street for people on their way to just about any place else. And luckily, we have some pretty smart people in town, and a decision was made, and it was a very radical one, to create a street that was more than just a street, that would serve as a multi-purpose place for the whole community. And we can see here that the construction that went into taking just another ugly street and making it into a one-of-a-kind piece of art in its own time, and in record time, celebrated its completion with the 2012 Arts on Division cultural event. An event that began as a way to not only bring the arts to Somerville, but specifically as a way to fill the vacancies on Division Street with pop-up art galleries. And how has this worked out for us so far? Well, you can see here that the reinvestment has been tremendous. The private investment since last year has provided a substantial return on the public investment. And reinvestment has risen dramatically as property owners upgrade their buildings. We have gone from an extremely high vacancy rate in 2011 to 1 remaining space with 2 potential tenants interested in it right now. And we're seeing a much higher investment in the businesses that are coming to Division Street. These are not just stores that are putting on a new coat of paint and putting up an open sign. These businesses represent significant investments. Heather Mosier Photography moved her business from White House Station to be on Division Street and has subsequently moved her family to Somerville. Blue Sheep Bakery is opening its 3rd location and coming to Division Street, and Yestercade's hopes to open its 2nd location coming here from Red Bank, which is well known all on its own for being a cool little town. All of this investment has resulted in 30 new jobs for Somerville, all stemming from one side street that could only be formally described as distressed. But the stores are really only part of the picture that we have on our canvas. Let's talk a little bit about programming. In the last year, the DSA has either directly hosted or provided support to over 50 events on Division Street alone, including movie nights, Arts on Division, a Broadway play, concerts, and Santa's arrival in Somerville. All in all, over 10,000 people have visited Division Street for events in the last year. You can see, come back. You can see here that the Somerville Education Foundation hosted its Family Fun Day on Division Street. last October, and they will be hosting that again this year. And in the bottom left, you can see the extensive tenting that was installed in 2013 for the Arts on Division because we no longer have the vacancies for pop-up galleries. We have managed to accomplish both commercial and cultural success because we can see by these numbers that both are intrinsic to the success of Division Street. We're seeing that both the stores and the events and programming are working. And what's good for Division Street is good for Somerville. What we're seeing here is that as interest in Division Street grows, Main Street is benefiting. Partly due to its location in the heart of downtown, people are walking along Main Street to get to Division, and partly because of the nature of the events and the openness of the space, people feel comfortable and are encouraged to bring food and snacks when they're coming to attend events. And any town or street or building that sees investment and is tended to is going to experience growth. Any place that makes a resident, visitor, or investor feel more confident will in turn inspire them to spend more time and more money. And we have seen infill investment all along Main Street. I think it's very fitting that Go Ride, which is also moving from another community, is opening at the top of Division Street, and right around the corner from Division Street, Dante Tuxedo has returned to Main Street, Somerville. The community response, as we saw from the earlier slides, has been overwhelmingly positive. Are there still those that want it back the way it was? Absolutely. Have some changed their mind? Absolutely. Most of what we're hearing is that it's not done. It's a project unfinished. Do more. Provide more seating, more amenities, more color, more flowers. And I think this has probably been our biggest challenge over the last year, is responding to the demands as quickly as we like. Division Street requires a significant degree of attention to help fulfill its true potential. And I'm going to, before I talk a little bit about what's next and conclude the presentation, we prepared a very short video for you so that you could hear from some of the most important stakeholders on Division Street, some of the small business owners who call Division Street home and who have invested their livelihood in our downtown. So we're going to let you take a look at a quick clip.
Nobody used to come down here before.
I called it a tumbleweed street. It wasn't something anyone had any interest in going down.
We got a lot of more foot traffic, especially on Friday car show, and then a lot of live band performance that bring a lot of people in.
Since we have the stage outside and the seats are directly in front of my store, I love it because I get people in front of my store 3 or 4 nights a week, and I think it's fantastic.
The street is actually a funnel of interest where there's always something going on that draws people down here, gives people something to be excited about.
A lot of people walk through it and they love just walking through it. Even if they're here for the events or just enjoying the street.
Even from a year ago, I can tell a lot more businesses have showed up. It's really a nice spot.
Pedestrian traffic really gives the business a little more of a competitive advantage.
Like customers will love it, especially the outdoor seating. They all love it. They like to keep it this way. I mean, without the traffic.
Definitely stands out with the colors and now the scenery that I have in the patio. And I think it definitely, all the events that happen in Division Street definitely helps my business.
Known it as a plaza, a place where people gather, where like it's something different and fun and it's somewhere you want to be.
It's phenomenal. Our growth has been exponential.
I've actually worked in the area for about 5 years, and it's amazing to see Division Street evolve. I think it should be a model for other small towns.
It's providing entertainment for that family that's looking for something else to do.
The first movie night, I think we had a couple hundred people.
I think Division Street is very artistic driven.
Chose Somerville because I felt it had a nice downtown feeling.
The events are designed to bring people around, and that's working.
It really sets us apart from Central Jersey, and I think that gave me the opportunity to have a tattoo shop that's so different from what else is seen in New Jersey.
I felt that the yestercades would fit perfectly on Division Street.
I feel like it's starting to become a little bit of a destination. People are actually hearing about it from their friends and from their peers.
Robust businesses, great restaurant scene. There's something for everyone involved.
I love it. It looks better. I mean, it's a lot of better store open up on Division Street. Yeah.
There's a lot of young business owners, and I just feel like everybody on the street really is like a family. We all work together, and we network, and we do a lot of things.
I think of our own main street in the town we live in, and it's nothing like this.
I'm so impressed with how the town is actively trying to draw in businesses that are of a artisan quality.
Bring more people and better stores coming in, everything's filling in, so that's looking good.
So what's next? Well, really, the truth is this is just the beginning. We are never going to be finished. A good public space is one that responds to the needs and opinions and ongoing changes of a community. And being open to the need for change is really what Division Street is all about. It's how we got here this evening. We are listening to the requests and trying to organize our resources to respond and provide to the growing needs of our community. Last year, we invested in 60 folding chairs to accommodate our fledgling event schedule. This year, we rented a stage to remain on Division Street from May until September to support those growing events. Within the last month, we ordered 8 tables and 32 chairs to provide continuous seating for those wanting a place to relax outside and perhaps enjoy coffee or lunch. We've just ordered commercial umbrellas to provide shade for visitors and more color on the street. And we hope that those will be in place by the end of this month. We continue to see other local community groups interested in using Division Street for events. The SCF event and the Hispanic Festival are 2 examples of other community groups planning events and using Division Street. Our downtown businesses are looking to Division Street as a unique venue for their own events, and this year Oktoberfest will be held on Division Street. We're planning a Halloween party for the kids this year, barring any unseen weather events. And Santa, who always arrives in Somerville first, will once again be walking down Division Street for Holiday Jubilee. We really want to focus on fine-tuning the projects that we've begun this year with better event staging, expanded market programs, and a public art program. We would like to increase the amenities that are now in place by adding more seating and shade and adding a substantial landscaping element. All these things have been very clearly called out as wanted by the public. So in closing the presentation tonight, the innovative cities that we showed you earlier are reaping tremendous rewards with spaces that have rejuvenated and in some cases even redefined the very space that they've been in. It can be really easy sometimes to view placemaking as a luxury. Spending money on something that's pretty or neat or even cool can be seen as wasteful. But what we're seeing tonight here is that by investing in Division Street, we are strengthening the intangible, the social fabric of our community, but we're also strengthening what is quite tangible, and that is our economic vitality. The steering committee is recommending that Division Street remain closed permanently to vehicular traffic. We feel that embracing this third space and allowing the work to be done, that we've begun to take hold and grow and prosper and become a focal point for the community is really the best way that we can ensure the vitality of the entire town. So again, we recommend that you keep it close to the vehicles. Thank you.
Thank you very much.